This is FIU Panther Talk on Bally Sports Florida. Today we sit down with new FIU Athletic Director Scott Carr, discussing his background, the first few weeks on the job, and his vision for what FIU can be moving forward. That and a look at the latest on the hardwood, where the men are closing in on 10 wins before Conference USA play even begins. I'm AJ Ricketts. To start today's show, here's part one of our sit down with Scott Carr. All right, Scott, there was no time to settle in here. You were hired and then you were off to find a football coach. We'll talk about that in a second. But what have you gathered and taken in from your first 2 weeks here at FIU?
Sure. Other than I can actually make it with less sleep than what I would have thought 3 weeks ago. No, seriously, it's been incredible. It's been a wonderful 2 weeks. What I've really taken away is the passion and enthusiasm of the Panther family. Have met so many people that are just so excited for the next chapter, that want to support, want to be supportive, want to see us be successful, and just love FIU. That has really stood out to me, and it's been really encouraging.
Let's talk about your background a little bit. You're a Gainesville native, undergrad and master's degree from the University of Florida. When you were getting that undergrad degree there in business management, mid-90s, was this always the career track that you had in mind? I know this is kind of a family business. your dad, Bill, was the AD at Florida and Houston in his time. Was this always kind of in your mind, or did it start to take hold a little later? When did this goal become an idea for you?
Sure. Well, so true story. When I started college, I had it narrowed down to two tracks I wanted to go on. Both were sports related, and college sports, really, because as you said, it's in my DNA. I grew up in college athletics, so it's all I've known and what I've always loved. And so after my freshman year of college, or going into my freshman year of college, I knew that I either wanted to be someone like you, I wanted to be on the sports media side,
right,
or I wanted to be an athletics director, and I wasn't sure what. And after my first year of college, I remember calling up and talking to my dad, and I said, I want to be an AD. And he said, okay. He said, well, we're going to start, we'll plan it out, and we'll figure out what that looks like. And
good person to go to.
Great person to go to. And I'm trying to think of where he was at the time, if he was at Raycom Sports or if he was at the University of Houston as the AD. I can't remember, but it was my sophomore year, and we started planning it out from there. And so it's been a goal and a dream of mine and of his for however many years that is. I don't want to do the math and add up how many years that's been, but it's been a dream and a goal for a long time, and I couldn't be more thrilled to be the AD here at FIU.
You were introduced here on December 2nd. After the press conference at the Graham Center, there was a mini scrum right outside it with the media, and I thought it was really neat. You took about 15 minutes. There were 5 or 6 students that made their way. They weren't media members. They just wanted to say hello, chop it up with you, talk about FIU athletics, and you heard that out. You listened. To you, how important is it to make it known that students shouldn't just be passive supporters here, but they are part of what the athletic mission is? They are a part of the athletic family, and how important is that for you?
The student body is critically important for us. It's critically important for our success. We need the student body to support us at all of our events. They create the atmosphere, and we want them to have a great experience while they're students, so that they're going to want to come back after they've graduated. So it's critically important, and really enjoyed meeting with those young folks. Again, that's why I'm in this business. I'm in this business because of 18 to 22-year-olds. Now, my responsibility for the most part is the student athletes, but it's also the student body as a whole. And what I found out that day is our student section at the football stadium is about 5,000 seats. And since that day, because there was 5 or 6 of them, as you're right, and I'm up to 17 that have assured me that they're going to be at the football games. So 4,983 left to go, and if I got to do it one at a time, we'll do it one at a time. But the student body is critically important, and I can't wait till they get back from the holiday break, so that I can get some more time to interact with our student body.
I want to ask you one thing about your time at UCF, because as great as nostalgia and reflecting is, I know you operate in the present and being here in the now. But I wanted to ask, if you could point to something that reflected of why and how UCF saw the surge it did athletically. The rise to joining the Big 12 soon, the top 25, the top 10 rankings in football, NCAA tournaments across the board. If you could point to something that led to that rise, because it's been talked about, there are similarities between UCF and FIU, whether it's the big market, the student population, that certainly translates. If you could point to something that led to that surge of success, what would you identify?
Sure, well, it's hard to point to just one.
Sure.
But I want to start with the on-campus football stadium. Yeah. They got a football stadium there in Orlando in 2007. I wasn't there prior to that, but I every year I was there, every day I was there, I would say that. I'm like, having this on-campus football stadium was so important to UCF. It's having alums that are going to see that stadium every day while they're students, right? They're driving by it, they're riding their bikes past it. On game days, that's where they're going. It's a part of it. They can come out of the residence halls or come out of their sororities or fraternity houses and walk to the stadium and see a game. I just think that was just critically important. And then, obviously, same similarities with FIU, the size of the student body, the size of the alumni base. Folks that were passionate about their university had a great experience, right? Great academic institution, so they had a great experience there. Right. And just hungry for the success of the sports programs. And I think it was just primed there when the success occurred. The fan base was ready to explode. Yeah,
and it certainly did.
Yes.
Huge rise, and
Absolutely.
So much success still there at UCF. All right, Scott, a couple quick hitters now before we go to break, if that sounds good.
Absolutely, let's do it.
All right,
quick
first
hitters.
one. Have you had any Cuban coffee, some cafecito in the first 2 weeks since arriving here?
All right, so the secret, the cat's going to be out of the bag. I do not drink caffeine.
Oh no! Oh my!
I don't think
How do you do it?
I don't think the world could handle me on caffeine. And my wife Pam would, I think, agree with that.
Okay.
So I don't drink caffeine because I talked about not sleeping before. If you give me caffeine, I won't sleep for 2 days. So I'm going to have to figure out my coffee intake where it's not caffeinated. So I got to figure that out.
I don't think there's any decaf cafecito. Right?
There's not. I've already asked. I've already asked the question.
That does not exist.
Yes.
Having spent a good amount of time in Orlando, raising a family there, the theme parks have to have been a frequent destination. Are the Carrs a Universal family? Are they a Disney family, or a little bit of both? Spent some time there?
So when we moved to Orlando, our daughter Katie was 7.
Okay. Yeah.
So we were Disney annual pass holders all the way up until the COVID time.
Right.
And I felt like we were about to transition to Universal before the move, but we hadn't made any kind of transitions yet because we still love Disney. But we hadn't made the transition to Universal yet. My daughter had a chance to go once, but when you get a little bit older, that's usually when you do some transitioning. Yeah. But we absolutely loved having a chance to go to the theme parks. That was a lot of fun.
It's a rite of passage as a Orlando native to have that annual pass.
Absolutely.
When you went to UF in the mid-90s, I believe Penny Hardaway and Shaq were making headlines on the Orlando Magic. You're a Gainesville native. Did you grow up a big Magic fan, or you have a preference to the Miami Heat down here? What's that fanhood look like?
So my fanhood is college athletics.
Okay.
It's college athletics. When it comes to pro sports,
right.
I follow the student athletes, the young men and young women of the institution where I am. Right. Or of institutions where I have a personal relationship with who those young people are.
Right.
I'm the first to admit that I couldn't tell you right now what's going on in the NFL, who's leading the league.
You've got other things to worry about.
Obviously, from being here before, I certainly have an affinity with the Dolphins.
Right.
Right, and follow them a little bit from a distance. But it's when it comes to pro sports, I don't pay that close of attention unless it's some former student athletes that I'm cheering on from a distance their career.
Yeah, you've got a couple hundred student athletes.
That's right. I'm focused on college athletics for sure.
Last quick hitter. Favorite memories at Auburn and Southern Miss? Does anything come to mind from your time there?
I think favorite memories is the people. It's always hard to leave the people, but from previous institutions I've been at, it's the people. Whether it's people that I've worked with in the office, student athletes, folks on campus, folks in the community, donors and ticket holders. I'm a relationship person, I'm a people person, so I just really love those experiences with people. Winning championships, being able to build some new buildings, and see some of those goals come to fruition. Those are all special as well, but if I had to pick one, I would say it was the relationships and the people.
Yeah, no doubt about it. When we come back, we talk about the hire of Mike McIntyre to lead the football program, the 2-time National Coach of the Year. He's already hit the ground running in Miami. We talk about the state of the program and more when we return on FIU Panther Talk. First, though, our trivia question this week. We take it to the hardwood. An incredible game last weekend at Eastern Michigan. 4 overtimes. Our question: when was the last time FIU Hoops had played a 4 overtime game? 4 OTs. That's a third half of basketball. A wild game. Answer when we return on Bally Sports Florida.
We can recruit, as I like to say, we can recruit in a car and we can win championships. And that was the last one I had on there, is we can win championships here. That's something that attracts me to FIU. For our current student athletes, I'm really looking forward to serving you. I'm in this business because I believe in the power of education. I believe how it changes lives for generations, not just the person that gets the education, it changes lives for generations. Can't wait to meet you all, watch you compete athletically and academically, and to see you achieve your dreams and your goals in life. I'm looking forward to getting out on campus and in the community to meet everyone, but we also need you. We need the Panther family. We have strength in numbers, as I've already mentioned, and we have a huge alumni base right here in our backyard. We need you to attend our events, to support our student athletes, to create that home field and that home court advantage. This is a we, not a me initiative. We is everyone in this room, and that's the reason why I talked about some of the members of the media that are here. We is every FIU student, faculty member, staff member, alum, and the entire community. We can build a monster together. Thanks for being here today. Can't wait to get started. Go Panthers. Pause up. Thanks.
Good job.
Only cried 2 or 3 times.
That's awesome.
Pegasus, the divine winged horse that flew with heroes mounted for glory. Arrogant, gun runner, city of light, mucho gusto, and Knicks go. Racing, the thunder and the lightning on the track, energy in the stands. Vibe, fashion, entertainment, all for one.
At Williamson Cadillac, your car buying experience will be the perfect balance of luxury and sophistication. We're innovating every day to ensure a streamlined car buying process for our customers. Our lineup of Cadillacs are setting new standards in luxury, from the unmistakable crossover series to our sedans that are dedicated to performance, plus the original icon and newly redesigned Cadillac Escalade. View our entire inventory at WilliamsonCadillac.com. Williamson is Miami.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Welcome back to FIU Panther Talk on Bally Sports Florida. Our trivia question before the break: what was the last 4 overtime game prior to this past weekend at Eastern Michigan? Well, you'd have to go all the way back to 2005. January 30th, 05 against Arkansas Little Rock. That game actually went to 5 overtimes. FIU won it 118 to 114. All right, with Scott Carr here on FIU Panther Talk. Scott, it was really neat the other week. I think it was the FGCU game. All the cabanas were filled with former players, former coaches. Carlos Arroyo was here, former NBA point guard. His jersey hangs in the rafters. Jonathan Cyprian, who did so many good things and is a longtime NFL veteran, he was here. How meaningful was that to get those people back here at FIU, just to establish those relationships? And a lot of people who have so much FIU pride, you felt that at that game. How important was that for you?
Extremely important. I thanked each one of them for coming back and told them, please come back as often as you can. You're welcome here, your family. We talk about NLI till you die. When you sign that national letter of intent until you die, you're a Panther for life. So it was phenomenal. Their passion and energy for FIU really blew me away. The fact that they want to be involved, that they want to help, that they care so much about FIU and how special this place is to them. That really meant a lot to me, and I appreciated them being here and still being active. What's great is I've seen each one of them since that night, right? Because they're that active. So very encouraging, and was glad to see them. And anyone that's watching this that is a former student athlete or just an alum that hasn't been back, come back. We welcome you back. We'd love to see you.
All right, Scott, let's talk football a little bit. I know we've made some headlines. Mike McIntyre has joined the program, a two-time National Coach of the Year. You've referenced how he just stood out, his energy, his vision for the program. It stood out through the interview progress. We saw that energy in the press conference right away. What did you see in the interview that made him your guy here?
Well, saw a lot of what everyone saw at the press conference, right? It was something where we really wanted to get to that press conference so everybody could meet him and know him. But just his positivity, his passion for FIU, his passion for young people, his passion for our student athletes, and he talked about wanting to mentor student athletes. He talked about wanting to mentor coaches. Those are two of his passions, and that meant a lot to us. Talked about the importance of academics, and talked about winning. And he has turned around 2 programs as a head coach, been a 2-time National Head Coach of the Year, which again, there's not a whole lot of those.
No, there's not.
He was the total package. He checked all the boxes that we were looking for, and couldn't be more thrilled and excited to have him here. And the first few days working with him have been exactly what I was expecting from the interview and more. He's been incredible.
I mean, really an impressive resume. Took Colorado to a top 10 ranking. That's difficult to do out there. And he was in the Pac-12 championship game. San Jose State was a top 25 team by the time he was all done there. And Scott, you mentioned in the press conference, like you want to meet with the football players, you want to get around that program, learn, assess. What have you learned in the last 2 weeks, whether it's meeting with the players, the coaching staff that's come in so far? You know, what will it take in your mind, or what have you seen that needs to happen for things to jumpstart themselves here?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, it starts with support, right? And I use the word support. It starts with Coach Mack and his coaches supporting our student athletes, right? Supporting them in that positive way and building those positive relationships. It's the athletics department, us supporting the football program and their needs. It's our fan base supporting us and supporting the football program. It's the university campus. So support is a big word, I think, there. But again, it's building those relationships. As you mentioned, Coach McIntyre's done it at 2 other places.
Right.
I'm not sure if he had ever been in San Jose, California when he became the head coach there.
Yeah.
He got there, built a staff, and with his relationships and him being a people person and getting out and talking to folks,
right.
He had some of the best recruiting classes in the history of San Jose State football.
Yeah.
It goes to Boulder, Colorado, as you mentioned. I don't know that he'd ever been to Boulder, Colorado before.
Which is a great place, by the way.
Right, which is a great place, but it's not the state that you're going to pick for recruiting.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he went in there and had a lot of success there. Again, he's a relationship builder, and he's going to go build relationships with the high school coaches, the alumni base, and really everyone. He's going to build relationships with everybody. So I think right now we just need a little bit of time. We just need a little time to be able to build it to where we want it to be.
Right.
So, I know fan bases and everyone else doesn't like to hear the word patience, but just having a little bit of patience while Coach puts his plan together and his blueprint together that he shared with me of what he's looking to do to have success. So we need a lot of support and a little bit of patience, and I think we're really going to build a program here that our fans can be really proud of.
Kirk Herbstreit referenced this idea on College Game Day recently. He said, look, it takes a shared vision among a president, an athletic director, and a coach to have the alignment you want in an athletic department. You and Coach Mack were on local television at midnight the other day. President Rosenberg, when he started the press conference last week, it felt like he was starting a pep rally. You could feel his energy and excitement. And I imagine you wouldn't have taken on this role unless you felt there was a commitment to excellence from the university when you were deciding whether to take this spot. And so you must feel that right now.
Absolutely. It was great during the interview process. A lot of the people that I got to meet with, including President Rosenberg, that talk to me about how they want athletics to be successful and how they want to help support athletics being successful. So I feel great about it. I've heard nothing but that from everyone on campus that I've been talking to. So I look forward to working with campus, working with the community, working with everybody that we possibly can to build FIU into a power.
I know football's been the priority in getting Coach McIntyre in here. Basketball's off to its school record start.
Yes.
Obviously, men's soccer had a sensational season, one of the best in school history. Have you gotten a chance now to talk with some of the other coaches around the athletic program, hear their thoughts, see their vision in the past 2 weeks?
I have, but not as much as I've wanted to.
Right.
I've had a chance to meet some of our coaches, and just incredible interactions. The passion they have for FIU has been energizing for me. And like you said, I mean, both of our basketball programs right now are doing wonderful. Men's soccer just had a great year, and we've got so many sports that are just competing for championships, winning championships. It's been tremendous, and we have a great coaching staff. If I didn't have to hire a head football coach first thing out, I would have already wanted to have meetings with them.
Yeah.
But we're getting meetings set up on the calendar where I can visit with them one-on-one. We've put out a staff survey to staff and coaches where I can get their feedback on what I need to be paying attention to here in some areas that we can get better, areas that I can help. So I'm looking forward to getting their feedback. I'm gonna read that over the Christmas holidays and get back in early January from not having some sporting events here for about a week and really diving in with those coaches and seeing what we can do to just take us to another level.
Scott, last thing, you've been really busy, so an important item for you, an important question. Have you gotten the Christmas shopping knocked out? You can't forget that. You might be in trouble.
So here's the deal. My wife has been married to me long enough to know that the way Christmas works is whatever she wants for Christmas, she purchases. She wraps it, and she tells me what I bought her. That's the way that we've operated for years. But I will say this, and I did have to ask her not to check the credit card statement. So by doing that, the cat's out of the bag that I was already working on something. But I have had a chance to get her something for Christmas.
Well, he's ahead of me right now. I got to get. Don't worry, Mom, Dad, Rob. I'll get there. Scott, we appreciate the time.
Thanks,
Looking forward to the future
Pleasure.
here at FIU.
Thank you so much. Pause up.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers, whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
The Florida Lottery is proud to support education by contributing billions of dollars to Florida schools and awarding countless Bright Future scholarships so Florida students can do more than just dream of a brighter future. They can create one. Learn more at flalottery.com.
Hello, I'm the Good Greek Spiro, and I have some very exciting news. Good Greek Moving and Storage is launching our Welcome Home program. Book your next move with Good Greek and you will receive our housewarming package, which includes gift cards valued at over $1,000, along with a neighborhood guide as you discover your new favorite local businesses. For the best move ever and to receive your exclusive gift offer, visit goodgreek.com and welcome home.
Greek Moving and Storage, your superhero movers. Most importantly, I'm just incredibly grateful to be the coach here at FIU, and very proud to be a part of this program. And all of the credit for this start goes to our players. And we wouldn't be here if it weren't for the players. The players are everything in this program. So all the credit goes to them. But I have everyone up here for a reason, and that reason is because these guys are the backbone of our program.
It's been awesome. I love the group we have this year, led by Zay Banks, Tevin Brewer, Eric Lovett. Those guys have been through the ringer with us, through tough times, through good times, and to have some early season success with those guys leading the way, it's been awesome. We got to keep working, we got to keep getting better, because it's a long season. But to be 8-1, to have a week off, to get better and get ready for our next opponent. I'm just happy for those guys leading the way and happy for our group.
Coach alluded to, this is a players-led program. The players drive our culture. The players drive every decision, everything we do. We've been fortunate to recruit and coach really good players, and we've grown this program over the last 4 years. Last year was a learning experience for all of us. It was a tough year. We learned a great deal from it. And I think the guys that were a part of last year and the guys that have come in have done a great job of kind of carrying the torch as we move forward here. But I couldn't be more proud of the guys that I work with, and certainly our players. And for Tevin Brewer and Eric Lovett and Zay Banks, guys that have been there with us, really happy for them. We got a lot of work to do. And we got a lot to work with, but we have a lot of guys that we can work with, and we're really excited to move forward.
They pour into our players each and every day. These guys are the ones that are responsible for building the culture. They're the ones that are responsible for the skill development. These are the guys that help mentor these guys. They're there for them for their hard times, for their good times, and so I couldn't be any more grateful than to work with these guys. They're all first ballot Hall of Famers.
That'll wrap things up for this week's edition of FIU Panther Talk here on Bally Sports Florida. From all of us here at FIU, I'm AJ Ricketts. Pause up, fam. We'll see you next Thursday.
Pegasus, the divine winged horse that flew with heroes mounted for glory. Arrogant, gun runner, city of light, mucho gusto, and Knicks go. Racing, the thunder and the lightning on the track, energy in the stands. Vibe, fashion, entertainment, all for one.
At Williamson Cadillac, your car buying experience will be the perfect balance of luxury and sophistication. We're innovating every day to ensure a streamlined car buying process for our customers. Our lineup of Cadillacs are setting new standards in luxury, from the unmistakable crossover series to our sedans that are dedicated to performance, plus the original Icon and newly redesigned Cadillac Escalade. View our entire inventory at WilliamsonCadillac.com. Williamson is Miami.